Greetings and welcome to the latest edition of Mentor Mike's Market Movie. Today is Tuesday, December the 11th, 2012. It's now about 3:29 p.m. Pacific time. We're going to do a little replay of today's trading activity, and I am still experimenting with different aspects of the chart template and the automated trade management functions on Ninja here for use in our new live S&P trading room. One of the things that we're going to be experimenting with today is a 3-contract, 2-target peeling off strategy where I have extended the second target further out, but I have created an automated trailing stop that will keep the stop closer and hopefully protect profit. So it will make the 2-target traders more on a par with the 3-target traders in terms of the time that they're in the trade, and so they don't have to have too much downtime while they're waiting for the 3-target guys to finish up. So I have no idea if they're going to work. It looked pretty good on paper, but the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So let's get started. Oh, first of all, let's take a look at what's going on. Here is our turning point chart. Yesterday, you'll recall, we had a high, low, and a high with a question mark. And my thought was, well, if it goes higher, which it could, then we've only got a 2 turning point day, but it could also turn around and go lower, in which case we'd have a 3 turning point day, and the low would be the first turning point tomorrow. I didn't quite know what to do with this little zigzag, and I figured that's just what it is, and it doesn't really count. But if we were to do the following and actually count this as a low, and then another high, then we'd have a 4 turning point day here, and it would increase the odds that this high is going to be the first turning point today. And quite honestly, it kind of looks that way, because notice that we have an upward swoop here on the moving averages. The histogram is coming up, the stochastic is coming up, so I'd say there's a pretty good chance that that's going to happen. Now, also, what I've done here is, instead of having the longer term parabolic only kick on after the day session begins, I'm going to have it running the whole time, because it doesn't really change that much from what I can see. And so this will give us some idea of where things might go at the beginning. The fact that we're in a bullish posture with the parabolic also lends greater credence to the fact that this market may move up to make that first turning point a high. So let's see how things roll. Let's start the data and we'll take it from there. Well, we've got mixed signals here. We've got the trend definer sloping up pretty good, but we've got white under red and blue under white right now. And we're approaching the open of the day session. And okay, this is breaking to the upside. This MACD is a potent bullish sign, as is the stochastic and the MACD over here. And since we know that this parabolic on the higher time frame is bullish, that kind of suggests that this is going to go up from here. And notice that we're at 1424 and the close yesterday was 14.20 and a quarter. So we're already above the closing here. So we know this thing is more than likely going to be a high and probably keep going, at least for some distance. So now that I got this cross on the MACD and over here as well, I think we ought to get long. Now, as you can see, we're just using 3 contracts, but the further out target is quite some distance away. That way we'll stay in the trade longer, and if we do catch a nice long move, we'll make more. Now, whether or not we get stopped out prematurely because I've put the stops too close remains to be seen, but let's give it a shot. Okay, we'll start the data. Hey, Josh. Oh, you are? Okay. Hang on. All right, I have to take care of some business here, so I'm going to pause this recording, and I'll be right back. Okay, well, I left the data running, as you can see, and we ended up getting stopped out somewhere along the way, and unfortunately I wasn't around to see it, so I'm going to have to watch the movie like everybody else. We have a house guest that came to the front door, and he was calling on my cell to let me know that he was there because I couldn't hear the doorbell because I'm doing this. So now you can see our longer MACD is ready to make a cross, and shorter MACD already has. And now the parabolic has flipped. And notice, here's the thing. The shorter MACD has broken below this 0 line, which is confirmation that this is a good crossover. But notice now that the price has spiked back up, and our stochastic is heading up. So this would be not a good place to get short. What we want is for this to come up, turn around, and start going back down again. That's when we get short. But in the meantime, we know now that this is definitely our first turning point of the day. It's ensconced in its own little momentum module here. And if we take a peek over here, whoa, this is way up here now. And it might even go higher. I don't remember if it does or not, but I think we can safely take off the question mark now. Okay, so this was a 4 turning point day, and these little zigzags did count, which is good to know because I like to be able to trust the parabolic on this turning point chart so that we can rely on that as an accurate turning point count for helping us figure out where things are going to go the next day. So, good news. All right, let's start up the date again. Okay, well, we've got the stochastic in a nice hook. Longer term MACD looks bearish, shorter term not so much. And now our white is slightly above the red. So let's run it a little further. Now, what we want to look for is a crossover here and a crossover on the histogram over on the other side there. That will be a good bearish sign when it happens, like about now. Now, even though our stochastic is pretty low at this point, it hasn't entered the oversold zone yet, and so there's a lot of downward movement that can really happen there. Now, I'm going to put my arrow up here, but I really don't know where I got stopped out, unfortunately. I should have paused the data feed, but I wasn't thinking. Now, however, we are going to get short here, and if memory serves, this is a nice long one here. And let's see if we can stretch this just a tad bit. There we go. That looks a little nicer. Okay, so we're going to get short, and away we go. Now my thinking was that if we make that second target further away, more in accord with the 3 target traders, the 2 target guys will be able to make more, provided that we can work the money management part so that the stop protects the trade and then trails the stop or trails the price close enough so that we don't give too much back. But previously we had a second target at 8 ticks, which in this case would have been at about 13.29 1/4, and as you can see, we haven't gotten anywhere close to that yet. But hopefully we'll make out better here. We might get stopped out in the process, though, because we're still only 4 ticks away on the stop. But let's see. Okay, and finally stopped out. Now, we've got a new curve here, but you know what? One of the reasons why I put that target further away so we don't have to hassle re-entries all the time. So I'm not going to go for this, although it'll probably drop enough to hit the first target. Remember, the danger always is that the longer you're in the move, the closer you are to the end, and that's a definite challenge. So, okay, we're starting to bottom out here. Oh yeah, we definitely would have hit probably 2 targets if we'd gotten in there. And we have a crossover here and the histogram coming above. Now the longer term MACD is still looking bearish, but there has to be at least 2 turning points, and we've only got one so far. So we're right in the window of our third one here, and when you have a 2 turning point situation, this is how it works. The first one is relatively early, the second one is relatively late. So let's get long, and let's draw our arrow. And away we go. Nope, stopped out. Now, I would not take another trade because it's past 1 p.m. or I guess it's 12:56. My mistake, but it's almost 1 o'clock. So I would be satisfied with this $600. But for those of you who are truly adventuresome, we've got a nifty little thing here on the Control Center under the Tools menu and Options. Under Miscellaneous, you've got this device here that allows you to flatten the market automatically at a specific time. So we don't have to worry about getting stuck during the hiatus. At 1:14 p.m. Pacific time, the platform will automatically get us out of the trade if we're not already in it. Already out of it, that is. So let's go ahead and try this one once it turns around. Okay, we got the bullish hook right here. We got a little bit of a hook on the histogram over here, and we've got the faster MACD breaking above 0, which means that we've also got a crossover on the larger MACD. So let's get long, and nope, we're actually past closing time here. So we'll just go ahead and do that, and let's run out the clock. But we picked up another $150 with our little extra aggression there. So if we had played this cautiously, which is what we're going to do most of the time, we would have made $600. And remember, this is a beginner's 3-contract, 2-target trade. And the parabolic is basically showing us, without too much problem, oops, that's not what I wanted to do, I want the text. It's clearly showing us where the turning points are. Now, we could make this low white and then put a blue high question mark over here, but I'm kind of leaning in this direction. So obviously tomorrow will tell what's really going to happen. In the meantime, let's see what it looks like on our turning point chart. Oops, let's make it lowercase. And this one we will use the high question mark. So we could have a 2-point day today and a higher high tomorrow. I think there's a pretty good chance of that. We'll have a better chance of making that assessment when we see where we are in the overnight leading into the day's session. But in the meantime, that's how it went today. And thank you for joining us. And keep watching the blog here, because as we have more information about the launch date of the trading room, you'll want that information. We're definitely going to have a webinar that will give you all of the details and hopefully answer all of the questions that we can anticipate. So thank you very much. Enjoy your evening and come back and see